cordless. All right, let's get rolling. I think I'll be letting some people in late, but go ahead and put a blanket on your mat, have a couple blocks and a strap nearby, and we'll start on our backs. So just get comfy on your backs for now, whatever that looks like for you. And that could mean bent or straight legs, eyes closed if you can, just kind of be in a comfy shape. Could be on your side, on your belly, on your back. We'll eventually be on our backs together, but for now I vote just get comfortable. All right. So just take these first few minutes of arrival time to do just that, to kind of arrive and settle in the body. Monday morning, many of you know my teacher Teresa was in town this weekend, so I feel like I'm still kind of digesting all of that. But always great to be in the presence of like a really knowledgeable teacher and someone who I've sort of seen the shift in her teachings in the, almost 20 years I've known her. And to just know that like, it's fun to do things differently sometimes, right? And so kind of whatever physical, mental stuff you are bringing with you this Monday morning, well, I guess some of you might be doing this practice not on Monday morning, so really whatever day. Just really try to be tuned into that and kind of meet yourself lovingly with that, right? So I think so often when something's unpleasant or something feels anything but great, we kind of try to push it away rather than to just be like, yeah, it's like here it is, here I am. So just take some more deep breaths here. Just be here, kind of arriving, settling for another minute or so. Last few moments here. So if your legs are straight, please bend your knees. And right away, try to just lift your heels off the floor first and slowly draw your legs in and pull legs into the chest. Make that like a slow transition. And it might feel good to gently rock side to side once you pull your knees in. It might feel good to just stay still. I'm going to let you make that call for yourself. And then you can release the feet back down. Knees stay bent, but widen your feet mat width, please. And just bring your arms overhead, kind of loosely overhead. Let them be soft. Take a big inhale through the nose, and with your feet and knees wide, on your exhale, tip both knees to the right. So we're just going to do kind of a slow windshield wiper to start. Inhale, you guys know the drill, knees come to center. Exhale, tip knees to the left. So do this side to side several times. Make sure you're going somewhat slowly, just trying to move with the breath, and hopefully the breath is somewhat slow and controlled. And definitely utilize that entire exhale to tip. And there's that little pause before you inhale again, where you can kind of linger and push through that outer leg. And then come back up and do the second side. So all that to say, like, really, take your time. Do a couple more. And then the next time you tip your knees to the left, why don't you just stay there? So knees are tipped left, feet are still wide. And I want you to try to see if you can be kind of on that very inner edge of your right foot. As long as that doesn't give you right knee pain, see if you can do that. And then without changing your legs, just roll onto your left side. You can kind of rest your head in your left arm, right hand's in front of you, but that right foot is still behind you on that edge of the mat. And then any amount you can kind of roll onto that left hip fully. You can drop that right knee any amount. And then take that right arm that's kind of in front of your face and slide it on the diagonal, almost so you're going to like turn your head towards the floor, almost like you could roll to your belly. You won't. And then lift your right leg off the floor, straighten it on the diagonal, but it's going to stay off the floor. You can lower it towards the floor, but you're kind of reaching right hand from right foot on the diagonal line. And you can play around with like rolling to your belly and then reaching that way, or still staying on that left side. And just kind of explore this side bend, front hip flexor situation for a couple of steps. Good. Go ahead and unwind to your back, knees bent, feet wide. Tip your knees to center and just pause for a second. And then we'll repeat a few rounds of windshield wipers. Inhale here, exhale, tip to the left to start. And we'll just go right and left a few times before we pause on the right. So just once again, resume your exhale, tip, inhale, center work. Go slowly. And then the next time you tip your knees to the right, stay over there. And just pause for a moment. And then without changing your feet. So you're on that inner edge of your left foot. It's all the way to the left edge of your mat. Roll onto your right side. Just kind of play with this. So you shift more onto your right side. I personally get kind of like an outer left hip, front of left hip experience as I try to reach that inner left leg to the floor. Again, if you get a lot of pain in your knee, I would back off a little bit. And then take that left arm, stretch it in front of you, kind of on the diagonal. Yeah. And then that left leg can lift, stretch it behind you on the diagonal. And you can roll like you're going to roll towards your face, towards your belly, or stay on your side. Just take a few more moments. Okay. Go ahead and unravel here. Pause on your back, take a few moments. Just find your breath. And I should have had you grab your strap nearby. So if you need to sit up, grab it and come back down. And I think it's probably easier if you just kind of eliminate the loop and you just make yourself a really long tail. So you can either unclick your belt or just kind of make the loop as tiny as possible. So we've got a really long strap to deal with. And then put both feet into the strap. You can have feet together or hip width. I'm going hip width. I just like it better. But then slide your hands down the strap so that your feet, and sometimes you can use the camera to like check yourself out. Try to get your heels right above your hips. So you're making 90 degrees. You're not trying to pull the legs closer than that, even though I know some of you can. And really ground through the back of the pelvis here. There's a natural arch in your low back. So you keep that little bit of lift, but try not to overly arch the low back if you're like me and that is your tendency. Keep your right foot in the strap. Take your left leg out, put your left foot on the floor. To P1. So the right leg is going to be active here and kind of make some space in your right toes up there. And with the right heel, we're gonna press up and peel the toes down. I want to extra encourage opening in the back of that leg. But then when you're ready, you're gonna straighten that left leg on the floor. But I want us to do the opposite thing with the left leg, to almost like reach through the left toes like you were kind of pointing your foot a little bit. So we get more hip flexor opening on the left. So two different things happening, right and left leg with the feet. So right foot dorsiflexion, that means peel your toes towards you. Left foot plantar flexion, which means reach your toes away from you. And then just breathe here. Try to let your shoulders be heavy and soft. Find your breath. So put both ends of your strap into your left hand. So not your right hand, left hand. Put your right hand on the floor and you're still pointing those left toes. Left foot's or left leg's gonna stay like this, where left leg is long, left toes reach. And then open your right leg out to the right. So your left arm will kind of drag across you. You can kind of wrap that strap around your hand if you need to. So the left arm drags across the chest, right leg out to the side, supta P2. Same thing, you want to peel right toes toward you and reach the left toes away from you. Just kind of playing with that difference there. Trying to open more the back of the right leg, inner right leg, but open more the front of the left leg. And just breathe. And the right hand's on the floor to help you from totally tipping over to the right. Take a couple more breaths. Bring your right leg back. Keep it in the left hand and cross it just a little bit to the left. Same thing. See if you can turn that left thigh in and point your left toes away from you, but try to peel your right toes towards you. A little bit like left brain, right brain thinking that can get kind of confusing, but see if you can go with it. Last couple of breaths. Okay, bring your right leg up. You can sort of take apart the two sides of the tail, bring your left leg up into the strap and take your right leg out. And just bend your right leg for now. We're switching sides. Firm your left leg up there. Spread your left toes and dorsiflex. So pull the left heel or left toes down rather. And once you've got your left leg, then you can straighten the right leg and reach the right toes away from you. So you're trying to lengthen the front of the right leg. You're still pressing right leg down. So essentially, you're lengthening the front of the right leg, shortening the back of it. And the left leg, you're lengthening the back of the left leg and shortening the front of it. And find your breath. Hold both ends of the strap, please, in your right hand. Left hand can go on the floor next to you. And then open that left leg out to the side. So this time the right arm will kind of drag across the midline, across the body. You're still trying to reach the right toes away from you and peel your left toes towards you and just breathe here. Last couple of breaths. And then bring your left leg up. Keep it in the right hand. Cross left leg over to the right. Same idea. Point those right toes away from you, but the left foot that's in the air, peel the left toes down. And breathe here. So try to roll that right leg in, which I think is actually harder when I'm pointing my toes, but maybe it's just because it's not what I'm used to. Last two breaths. Good. All right. Bring your left leg up. Flip the strap off this time and just either straighten both legs like Shavasana or bend both knees if that's more comfy, and just kind of pause here in the middle. Got one more thing to do on our backs here with the strap. Pause, collect yourself, take a few moments. All right, strap. Stretch your right leg up and hook your right foot around into the strap. So just like side one again. This time, straighten your left leg. So you'll straighten the left leg, point the left toes. So this part's the same. And just like last time, hold the strap in your left hand, right arm out to the side. Just like last time, open your right leg out to the right. But this time, I lied. I want you to bend your left leg for now. We'll straighten it in a second. All right, now open your right leg, but this time I want you to like tip all the way over onto your right. So like your foot comes to the floor, your leg comes to the floor. And then both hands can hold the strap, and you're gonna kind of pull yourself to scoot closer, like your face closer to your right foot, right shin. Yeah, so you're kind of doing like a side bend. And then your right hand can hold on to the strap or your foot. Some of you don't need the strap, just keep it close, but you can hold your foot with your right hand or the strap. You with me? And then once I've got my foot in my hand or I'm close, Then I can even kind of scoot even a smidge closer over there. So you're trying to like side bend over to the right. And then from here, I vote you walk your left foot a smidge to your left. So it's kind of moving away from the right foot. And then you can start to straighten your left leg, point your left toes, like triangle pose on your back. We did this a few weeks ago, I think. But the hard part is now to try to turn your belly to the left and ground your back glute, left glute. For me, it might mean you have to lift your right leg off the floor a little bit to try to teeter totter and ground that left leg as much as you can. And then you can stretch left arm straight out from the shoulder socket. And try to breathe here. We're going to take this one notch higher in a couple of breaths. So just know there's option for more coming. There's also option to stay here. So you could stay here, or you can take your left arm, bend your elbow, and start to reach your left arm overhead and side bend more and reach for that strap with your left hand. So the left arm's overhead and you're pulling it with your left hand to turn your belly to the left. So it's like a Parvrita Janushasana on your back, which is a lot, but the strap allows you to you can scoot out of it as much as you need to or deepen it and walk closer as much as you need to. Last couple of breaths. All right, come out slowly, guys. That means slower than I just did. I'm hearing weird things on my computer. Just take a few moments there in the center, kind of see how that pretty big side bend landed. Now, let's do the second side. Stretch your left leg up. Straighten the right leg for now. And then hold both ends of the strap in the right hand again and open that left leg out to the side. Just take a second here. And then before we start to go in, bend your right leg again because it's just easier. And tip all the way onto your left. Boop. And with both hands, kind of pull yourself and scoot yourself closer to that left leg, left foot. Almost like you're trying to get your face to your shin. You won't. And then the left hand can either hold onto the strap or the outer foot, and the right hand can let go and start to turn open. Yeah. Next step is, if you can scoot closer to the left, do it. Is to move your right foot to the right just a little bit. Start to straighten that right leg. So the legs are further apart, and if you can, point those right toes. Then the hard part, at least to me, is to try to roll the back hip, right hip down and press the back of the right leg down. That might mean your left leg has to come off the floor a little bit, or at least temporarily. And stretch your right arm out to the right. Supta Trikonasana, breathe. So option is to stay here. If you want to go to that deeper side bend, right arm will sweep overhead, grab the strap overhead, and then you can kind of pull yourself closer to that left foot. Right arm overhead holding the strap. Still try to press the back of the right leg down. Breathe. All right, guys, bend your right leg first, and then just gently, slowly make your way out of that situation. And you can set your strap to the side. You can go for bent or straight legs here to just kind of pause and take a moment or two. Once again, bend your knees if they're not already. Start by lifting your heels off the floor, and then gently let your knees fall into your chest. Hug your knees into your chest like we started. Rock side to side if that feels good. And then pause here in the center and make your way up to sit. You can rock a few times. Then once you're upright, keep the blanket on your mat for now. Come to hands and knees and find child's pose when you're ready. Child's pose with at least hip width distance between your knees, maybe even mat width. And give yourself plenty of room in front of you so you can really slide your hands away from you. And then once your forehead touches, if not the ground, put it on a block. You can let your forearms soften too and just breathe here. Inhale, lift yourself up a little bit and swing over to the left. So swing your hands torso to the left. Stretch your right arm on the diagonal. Another little side bend here. Walk your left fingertips back. Big inhale, lift up. And exhale, just kind of fold over that left leg. And any amount you want to crawl right fingertips away. That'll probably give you more side stretch. So if you want more, crawl the hand away more. If you want less, do less. And just take a few breaths. Good. Walk through center and swing over to the right. This time, stretch your left arm on the diagonal. Walk your right fingertips back. Fold in. Big inhale. Exhale. Turn to the right. Fold over the right leg. And any amount you can crawl left fingertips away, go for it. Couple more breaths here. Good. Inhale, come all the way up. And let's move the blankets off the mat. And then once you cleared your mat, then hands and knees, downward facing dog when you're ready. And just move around a little bit this first down dog. Kind of warm up, get your mojo going. And then find stillness here. Push the mat away with your hands and lift your belly. One more breath here. And then walk your hands from here. Walk your hands back to your feet. So you end up at the back of your mat. Separate your feet a little bit, like hip width distance. Spread your toes. And fold forward here. If it feels better to grab opposite elbows, you can do that. Try to make your legs fairly active and pull the kneecaps up into the thigh muscles. One more breath. Release and walk back to downward facing dog. Lower your knees for a second and grab your 2 blocks. We were playing with this yesterday and I forgot how much I like it. So flat blocks, have them shoulder width, so almost mat width for me. And then the heels of your hands will kind of go on the front of the block edge and spread your fingers wide. My pinky fingers and thumbs kind of hang off the blocks, but you can kind of curl them around. And then from here, downward dog, you might have to walk your feet in a little bit. You're trying not to push your blocks forward too much or you'll just slide. So you have to push the blocks down and lift your hips up. Inhale, plank pose. You might have to step feet back. Shoulders over, blocks over wrists. And then the thing we were playing with yesterday that I liked is like, why do we always have to fucking do chaturanga? Who likes it? I don't, and no one ever does it right. So from here, play around with putting the knees down and then pulling your pelvis forward and kind of arm bones back like you're going to go right into up dog. So I keep my knees down until I can get my shoulder blades pulled back. And then you can come to the tops of the feet, maybe find upward dog. You're like, I hate that. I love chaturanga. Fine. Downward facing dog. I'm going to give you a moment to maybe play with that one more round on your own, whatever your sort of vinyasa cycle looks like. And it's totally fine if you're like, I really want chaturanga, but that's probably worth noticing, all these preferences, right, that we all have. Pull the arms back, find your back bend. Downward dog. So the beauty of the blocks under the hands is it's a little less weight in the wrist. And then from here, it's also easier to step forward. So look forward and step the right foot between the blocks as you're higher off the ground. Lower your back knee. We're not here too long, but if you need padding, grab your blanket. And up you come, right hand, left hand to thigh. Sweep your left arm up by your ear, reach up, inhale, exhale, side bend over to the right. Good, hands down to the blocks. Lift your back knee, spin the left heel down. And then the block that's outside of your foot, I want you to flip that at least 1 notch higher, maybe all the way to tall, and put your right hand on it, right outside the heel, right outside the ankle. Left hand to hip, press your outer right knee into the inner right arm and turn to the left. So setting up for side angle here. And when you're ready, stretch your left arm up and overhead. Another side bend, breathe. Good, look down, lower your hands. You can kind of move the blocks out of the way. Walk all 10 fingers and toes to your left. So both toes point straight ahead. Big inhale. Exhale, walk your hands back and fold forward, wide-legged forward fold. Let's take a few breaths. Good, hands forward, inhale. Exhale, crawl back to the top of your mat. You'll have to put your blocks flat, back to shoulder width, heels of hands on the front of the block, spread your fingers, step back, down dog on the blocks. Again, you might have to shorten your dog, and that's fine. Inhale, look forward, exhale, step left foot between the blocks. And then you might have to lengthen your lunge here to lower that back knee, and up you come. When you're ready, inhale, stretch right arm up. And exhale, side bend to the left. Good, come on down. Lift the back knee. Take that block that's outside the left foot, flip it taller, put it right outside the ankle, and spin the right heel down, heel to heel, right hand to hip, turn open towards side angle. But really press that outer left knee into the inner left arm. And then once you turn all the way open, when you're ready, stretch your right arm all the way overhead. Parshva Konasana. Good. Look down, hands down, move the blocks. Walk all 10 fingers and toes to the right. Big inhale here. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold again, and you go. Good, walk forward. Crawl back to the top of your mat. Set your blocks up, unless you're like, I really hate the blocks. They don't help me. Then fine, but it might be worth just doing something different on this one Monday. And then from here, find your dog cycle plank pose. You could do your skip chaturanga thing or not. We'll meet in down dog. Look forward, step the right foot forward. So we're back to the first side. Lower the back knee and crawl up, hands to thigh again. This time, stretch your left arm up, but we're going to twist to the right. This is not a super deep twist, so just lean forward. Maybe you hook your elbow to the outer knee, but don't worry about going super deep. Hands to prayer, twist to the right. Use your inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale to turn. One more breath. Great. Undo your twist. Hands to blocks, lift your knee. Once again, spin the back heel down, heel to heel. This time, take that right hand block, flip it tall, and put it more to the outer shin. Right hand to it, left hand to hip. Straighten your right leg and turn to the left. So set up for triangle pose. Spin your right thigh out and lengthen your right side. Good. When you're ready, sweep your left arm up and breathe. Two more breaths here. Good. All right, look down, bend your knee, blocks flat, downward dog. Inhale, look forward, side two. Exhale, step left foot forward. Lower the right knee. And bring your hands to your left leg. Come on. Sweep right arm up. Exhale, twist to the left. Hands to prayer. If you can. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, turn. Good. Couple more breaths. Undo your twist. Hands to blocks. Lift the back knee. Spin the right heel down, heel to heel. And then flip your left hand block higher. Move it back a little bit more outside the shin. And then left hand to block. Right hand to hip. As you start to turn open, straight in the left leg. But try to spin your left thigh and knee out as you do it. Lengthen, lengthen left sideways. And those of you that have the tendency to hyperextend, I see it all the time. Keep a baby bend in your left knee. Stretch your right arm straight up. Breathe. One more breath. Good. Undo, bend the knee, blocks flat, downward dog, hands to blocks. You can take your downward dog cycle again. If that means you're really missing chaturanga, fine. Otherwise, go right into your back bend, up dog, whatever you choose. Up dog on the blocks is sweet, in my opinion. And then come on down. Have a seat on your heels or put a block between your feet and just kind of give your wrists a moment, give yourself a moment to settle. So I'm going to turn to face the long edge of my mat just so you guys can see. You can do whatever you want, but bring both legs wide. If you tend to have tighter hips and hamstrings, sit up on something. That's just going to tip your pelvis in a better way. Otherwise, everyone can kind of adjust your seat behind you, trying to encourage a little pelvic tip forward. Yeah. Bring your hands behind you, sit up tall, and then look at your feet and try to aim those knees and toes straight up if you can. Good. Take an inhale here. Remember, in hip poses, we move from the hips and not from the middle of your back. So hinge forward from the hips. Keep your spine long, and then you can, any amount, begin to walk your hands in front of you and fold. Prioritize the length of spine. So if you need like forearms to blocks or something, that's cool. Others of you can get forearms to the floor, maybe head to block or not. You don't need the block. I think it's nice, but again, trying to keep spine long, and you're still trying to keep knees and toes pointing up-ish. Just trying to avoid some extreme turning in or turning out. So keep the legs active here and just kind of breathe. Big inner thigh stretch for sure. Inner leg. Let's take a few more breaths, a few more moments. Good. All right, you guys come up slowly. Keep your right leg out to the right. Bend your left leg in. Probably don't need your blocks, but you're gonna want your strap. Some of you won't need it, but we're gonna all at least start with it. Before we do anything with the strap, turn towards your left knee, so the bent leg. And maybe the right arm can kind of reach across and hold the left knee, left fingertips, maybe not all the way behind you, but a little to the left. And then inhale, sit up tall, turn away from your right leg and just take like baby twists to the left. Yeah, take 2 more breaths. So notice how you're turning away from the right leg. You want to kind of keep that up. So keep, you can let go with the right hand, keep turning to the left, but start to lean to your right. So see how you're leaning towards, I'm leaning towards my right foot, but I'm still turning my belly to the left. So you've got options here. Right hand to the floor. You can, probably all of us, I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna make a small enough loop in my strap that I can wrap it around the right foot. And then like we did on our back, left arm overhead, walk it towards the right foot and pull. There'll be some of you that can get low enough that the hand can hold the foot, and see I've got both hands on the feet, and then turn. So you're still turning to the left, but leaning over to the right. It's a big side bend, so if you still don't feel juiced for it, just back off a little bit. Breathe. All right. Don't let me rush you, but take your time to exit Parivrita Janusharsasana. Switch. Switch left leg out, right leg in. So step 1 is to do that sort of open twist. So this time you'll turn towards your right knee. Left hand can hold it, right hand more behind you. Inhale, sit up tall. And this time, just little pull, turn to the right. Couple breaths like this. So belly's turning to the right, away from your left leg. Keep that action happening. You can let go with the left hand and start to lean towards your left leg. Still turn your belly to the right. Lean, 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 lean. And then you can grab your strap again, whatever sort of, however you did it first side. Yeah, right hand overhead, pull. And it's that turn to the right, or you can kind of have to get quite low to get the arms. I've got pretty long arms, but I also have really tight sideways. Breathe. Last moment here. All right, everybody, slowly come out. Down dog, if you like it with the blocks, cool. If you're done with the blocks, regular dog. You could take one more dog cycle. You could skip dog cycle, do whatever, really, whatever you want. All right, come on down to your knees. And come on down to your back. Let's lay down with knees bent and have your feet wide and let your knees knock in. Hands can rest right there in the center of your belly. Close your eyes if you haven't yet. Just kind of slow breath down. You can keep hands on belly if you want. I'm going to. Separate your knees a bit, but keep your feet wide. And this time you're just going to tip your right knee in. Left knee stays relatively the same. We're just internally rotating right leg. And it's not about going that far. In fact, if you feel pain, you've gone too far. You just tip it in gently and then you come back up. Right knee stays relatively the same, and then you tip left knee in. So you have to kind of come to that inner edge of the foot. And again, I'm not trying to force, and my left side's trickier to internally rotate. So, the minute I feel like a tug on my inner knee, I'm like, oh, that was too far, back off. And then just kind of switch side to side a few times. You feel even, feet wide, knees in, hands stay on belly, pause again. Separate your feet hip width. One last time, lift your heels first off the floor. And then slowly draw legs in, wrap your arms around your legs, just like we started. If it feels good to rock side to side, do that. And if there's like something you're dying to do, got a moment here. Otherwise, I want to encourage you to set up for a comfortable shavasana where you're can really do it. We got to take some super long, juicy shavasanas this weekend, and I'm like, man, this is what my life's been missing. And I think most of us don't take enough of that time, yoga teachers included. So set yourself up well when you're ready for shavasana. Really go for it. Maybe that means you turn your lights down, close the door, whatever, there'll be distractions. That's welcome to life. But what if you could give yourself the best chance at success? And what if we treated shavasana as seriously as we treat down dog, triangle pose, handstand? So once you're in, see if you can really drop it. Start to deepen your breath here in your Shavasana shape. And take your time to transition out of Shavasana if you want, which is the beauty of being at home. Like, take longer, man, if you can. If you're going to meet me in a seat, just find that when you're ready. And pause and check in with how you feel. And get a sense for how the practice landed. And when you're ready, you can draw hands together at the center of your heart. And if you'd like to end with a bow, please join me. Thank you so much for practice. If you're doing this later, thank you for doing it later. Have a great week. Happy Monday.